diverse, you know.
Yeah.
It reflects all those layers of history we've been talking about.
The source material mentions Albanian art and architecture as a good starting point. I'm imagining a real mix of styles, given all the different influences.
Oh, absolutely. You'll find everything in Albania. Ancient Illyrian ruins, Roman amphitheaters, Byzantine churches, Ottoman mosques, even some Italian-influenced architecture from the early 20th century. It's like a visual timeline.
Wow. Are there any specific sites or styles that really stand out? If someone's interested in architecture, what should they see?
Well, Dutrent, down in southern Albania, is a must-see. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site,
Mm-hmm.
ancient city with ruins from like the Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Venetian periods, all layered on top of each other.
That's like stepping back in time.
It is. And then you've got Berat and Gjirokastër, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites too. Berat is known as the City of a Thousand Windows, famous for its Ottoman-era houses, all these white facades and windows built into the hillside.
Okay.
Gjirokastër has a different feel, more imposing. Cobblestone streets, fortress-like houses, and this big castle that overlooks the whole city.
Two very different but equally fascinating examples of Albanian architecture.
They are. They both give you this glimpse into a way of life that's been preserved for centuries.
Let's move from the visual to the audible music. The sources talk about Albanian folk music as a really important part of the national identity.
It is. And just like everything else in Albanian culture, the music is super diverse. You've got the epic songs of the Geg region in the north, and then the more lyrical and melancholic melodies of the Tosk and Lab regions in the south.
So again, the geography and history are reflected in the music.
Yeah, it's all connected. And of course, one of the most unique forms of Albanian folk music is isopolyphony. That hunting choral singing we talked about before, it's still performed today. Weddings, festivals, you name it.
It's amazing how those traditions stay alive.
It shows how important they are to Albanian identity, that connection to heritage.
Speaking of heritage, let's talk about Albanian literature.
It might not be as well known internationally as, say, French or English literature, but it's got a rich history, a fascinating window into the Albanian experience.
Our sources mention Gajan Buzuku, a 16th century cleric who translated the Catholic liturgy into Albanian, one of the earliest written works in the language.
Yeah, Bazuka's work was huge, not just for the Catholic Church in Albania, but for Albanian literature in general. It helped standardize the written language and pave the way for, well, everything that came after.
And when we talk about Albanian literature, one name that always comes up is Ismail Kader.
Of course. Kader is, he's probably the most famous Albanian writer. His novels and poems are known all over the world. He's won tons of awards, including the Man Booker International Prize.
What are some of the themes he explores in his work?
Well, his writing is very much rooted in Albanian history and culture, but he also deals with